definitely like super accurate every time, or it seems to be. Let's see. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna call you Tim. I'm gonna call you Tim because I don't know how to pronounce your name. If you want to spell it phonetically and not be called Tim, please feel free to type it there in chat. But otherwise, Tim, thank you for the follow, by the way. I didn't hear it, missed it, but thank you. Tim it is. There are those who call me Tim. Una Pishtum. And I'm sure I've got the... Oh, geez, dude. Okay. All right. All right. I know. Y'all are excited. Oh, Sprocket! Sprocket! How's my favorite Canadian doing? Sorry, you were blending in with Tim, you and your blues. Haven't seen Monty Python in ages. Lasagna always tastes better with age also. So I genuinely feel like my lasagna is better on day one. Here's my theory, and I could be wildly incorrect. Maybe some people's genuinely are better on day two. My theory is a lot of people say that lasagna is better on day two because on day two, after it's had time to set up in the fridge, it's really easy to cut a slice, like a good square slice of lasagna that stands up on its own and you can see all the layers. But on its first go round, most people don't wait nearly long enough. Like you have to wait a good 20, 25, maybe even 30 minutes before you cut that slice of lasagna. Otherwise you're going to end up with lasagna soup on a plate. And that's my theory why people think it tastes better on day two, is just because day two, it's a slice of lasagna. Day one, it's probably lasagna soup. Hi, suffering anxiety. Aw, Sprocket, I'm sorry. You need to wrap yourself in your really dope hoodie that I always see you cooking in and have something awesome. You're a fantastic cook. I'm sure you've probably got something in the fridge already ready to go, but if you don't, you know what to do. I got faith in you. Sprocket, you're badass. Everybody, let's get a shout out here for Sprocket. Let's get a shout out here for Sprocket, and for everybody in here that doesn't already do so, please follow. There we go. Shout out. Sprocktopolis. There we go. Wait a minute. It says it doesn't exist. Damn it. Damn my fat fingers. There we go. Click that heart right above chat. Follow Sprocketopolis. Sprocket is a fantastic cook, food and drink streamer, and like industry professional. Like you still work in the service industry, right? Like I have been for a long time, but I've been out of it for a while. Anyway, regardless, fantastic cook, and personally, my favorite Canadian. Honestly. Go follow Sprocket. The very first stream I ever saw Sprocket on, the very first time I ever met Sprocket, was Sprocket was making poutine. And I was like, oh, heck yeah, let's see how a legit Canadian makes Canadian poutine. And it was exactly kind of what I thought it was. Like, you know, not everything super from scratch. It's like, it's how you make a poutine that you're going to have every day, not like a special occasion trying to impress people poutine. It was beautiful, simple, and I loved it. And I've been following ever since. Sprocket, you're good peoples, and I love you. Mr. Design Cook, smoking and chilling. What's up? Sushi is not better the second day. I totally agree with you. House looks great at Shayna. Thank you very much. Oh, Mr. Design, thank you very much for following Sprocket. Sprocket's good peoples. Mama Dragon Glitch shall protect you too. Thank you for the internet command. If I'm spotty internet, I'm sorry. I live in the country. It's the best I can do. Maybe one of these days, those internet gods will be like, hey, you know what you deserve? Some fiber optic. You know when that day will come? When fiber optic is obsolete. Promise. Promise that's when it'll happen. One of your favorite soups is Finnish. Just throw it together, cream, potato, onion, fish soup, huh? You know, I'll be honest, I don't do many fish dishes. I was never a huge seafood person in the first place. Ahoy, Mix, by the way. Give me a minute, I'll greet you properly. I was never a big fish fan in the first place, but then like, I've watched a number of overfishing documentaries, but Seaspiracy was kind of the nail in the coffin, right? And it just, I can't justify myself participating in something that I think is just disgusting. And it's nothing against people who continue to eat seafood. Most people are blissfully unaware. But overfishing is devastating the ocean population, and that'll be the only lecture I give you. It's not even a lecture. Y'all keep doing whatever you do. I quit eating fish some time ago. Whenever I made sushi the other day for Pug Bunny's birthday, it was the first time that I've touched seafood in, God, years, really. It's the first time I've made sushi in probably 5 years. Uh, 8 minutes. 8 minutes, how are we looking in here? Ooh. Heck yeah. Looking good. Remind me to have a very serious sit down with you about at-home fish raising aquaponics I'm working on with your brother-in-law. Okay, I will. Also, by the way, here's your official greeting. Welcome in, Mix. How are you? How goeth the farm? Dude, our garden is huge. Our garden has grown so well, despite the bison, despite the frost, despite everything that's happened, including toddlers running through and picking leaves and dogs traipsing through the garden. Somehow we have a very successful looking garden, and I cannot wait to start getting a bunch of produce out of it. We already did spinach with that leftover stream that we did on, Wednesday, I think? That was spinach from our garden, and then I harvested some Swiss chard that has me thinking, okay, Shayna, and anyone else that happened to catch one of my Teeds build-up streams, my signature dish that I was going to do, the pasta one with the creamy basil marsala sauce and the grilled chicken. I'm thinking about abandoning that ship because we harvested that Swiss chard and it looks beautiful. It is bright colors. It is awesome. And it got me thinking, what if... Okay, I'm just going to go with whatever you guys decide right now. I can either do that Italian dish with the... Here, I can show you a picture of it, I think. I think I posted it, didn't I? Yeah, there we go. All right, so it's either this dish right here. That is a fresh pasta. It is a fresh made tagliatelle with sauteed mushrooms and a creamy basil marsala sauce with grilled chicken. And it's either that or I was thinking Swiss chard, mashed potatoes, cornbread muffins, and buttermilk southern fried chicken with a cream gravy on the potatoes and the chicken. It's very, very traditional Southern. It's very me. It's what we grow in the garden. But that Italian dish is very me too. That is something that I have been making for years and years and years. Anytime that I want to make a throw together quick, impressive pasta, that's it. All right, let me get caught up on chat now that I've asked my question. Mix, because you need more critters? Always need more critters. Garden still isn't happening because we had frost 2 days ago? Jeez. Shee-mini. My tomatoes are dry today. They were sad. Your spinach was amazing. Right? It was big. It was awesome. That's why your peppers are still inside. I like the Italian dish, but what else were you thinking? Tilapia are easy domestic bred food fish. They grow nicely in water barrels. So we're working on a multi-tank, multi-pump system so we can raise and breed tilapia in the water system of the hydroponic gardens, because then their poop fertilizes the plants and you don't need fertilizer. That's the vague outline. Lights and temperature monitoring to consider. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, see, and that's the problem. That's the problem. Is like, I feel like that pasta looks pretty. Now, granted, it's a bit whitewashed because it's a cream-based sauce and it's grilled chicken, which is also white. But look at these colors, guys. Look at this Swiss chard. Look at this Swiss chard. Look at this bright red. This nice orange. We got some yellows. There's some more oranges, some more deep reds. It's so pretty. This is so pretty. And it all just came out of the garden yesterday. But anyway, so you know that has me second guessing myself, because that's so pretty. I'd almost hate to not use it, because not many people are going to have that growing in their backyard, right? Excuse me, bud. Mom, you want to make him some milk? He was reaching for the milk.
So I gave him the choice of which 6.
Yeah.
So I have to wait for
Yeah. That's gonna be your main window garden crop. You've not grown it, don't eat it, or no. Think of it as spinach. It functions very similar. Now the stalks you can saute, you can pickle, which I think is interesting. I can't wait to make some pickled Swiss chard stalks, because they're bright colors, and that'd be like a really cool bright colored pickle. But the greens cook up a lot like spinach. It's a little more green, not quite as green as kale. Let's see. Got more tooth and fiber and spinach-like flavor. Exactly. Do a P.F. Chang's lettuce wraps with it. The middle stalk is a little firm. Think of that middle stalk the same way that you'd think of the stalk in the middle of like collard greens. Oh, okay. Lettuce tacos. Our timer's almost up. I mean, we got like 3 minutes tops.
Awesome.
Use the spines as the bottom. Oh, okay. I get it. Rather than folding it like where the spine wraps around the taco, fold it so that the spine is the middle and it like a Venus flytrap sort of. I guess that makes sense. Makes a whole lot more sense than trying to wrap it the other way. Yeah, that could be done. Have to see how much crunch is in them raw. Like, there's some that can be eaten raw, like in salad. They can all be eaten raw, let's face it. But some of them are pleasant to eat raw, like chop up in a salad. And some of them are a bit firm for that. So I'll have to get the size, like, get the right size that's good to eat raw, and then yeah, maybe. Fulio, my dog, pizza chef. Oh, don't worry about it.
That's it, right?
Well, we're gonna check it. I'm gonna give it another 5, just
All right,
5 minutes.
I'll be back.
You go back.
What's up, bro? Hey, what?
Those P.F. Chang's lettuce wraps are pretty gangster. I'm not gonna lie. Like I ain't even that big of a fan of P.F. Chang's, but those lettuce wraps are pretty fire. Come on, kid. Thank you.
Someone knows where he's at.
Just chilling. Cave cabbage. It's a fair descriptor for endive. Yeah, diaper baby chef still roaming. He got him some milk and he's like happy as can be now. Grew romaine once and used Rachel Ray's lettuce wrap recipe. It's amazing. Oh, really? Really? I have, like all good skeptical chefs, like skeptical, cynical chefs, I should say. Like all good skeptical, cynical chefs, I have never made a single thing that Rachel Ray has ever told me to make. I have never made a single Rachel Ray recipe. And that's probably rude. But I don't know. To be fair, I don't make anybody's recipes. Whenever I want to formulate a new recipe, like if I want to make something that I've never made before, I'll look up like 20 different versions of the recipe. I'll look up as old of a recipe as I can find, as new of a recipe as I can find, and if I find any hidden gem videos with somebody's insert indigenous grandma here, then I'll kind of loosely go off of those. But basically, I'll get a good foundation of knowledge of how the dish works, and then I'll build my own. So I don't hardly use anybody's recipes ever. But Rachel Ray is one that I've just never even considered looking up. Got a new grandson picked today. Oh, send me one, Shayna. To be honest, main things I've made came from YouTube cooking channels. Oh, there you go. That's how you learn to cook when you inherited a large family, is with Rachel Ray. That's fair. And I don't hate on anybody. Here's the thing, is there are different levels of how to cook, and all of them are good. And there are people like Semi Homemade with Sandra Lee or whatever her name was. It was always doing cocktails and tablescapes and all that shit. Like, that ain't my bag, but that's somebody's bag, and I bet they make pretty quality food. I think if you care enough to try and make food better for the people that you love, then that's all you can ask. And that's just kind of, I think any level of cooking is awesome as long as you're just trying to be better, no matter what your skill level is. Just, try to improve every day, little by little. And someday you'll find yourself just like me, knowing way too much about food and trying to share it with random people like you who know maybe a little less. Let's see. Want to do a whole garden bed of leafy lettuce, but I have to find a fisher with some old gill net to donate because there's too many things that like leaves around here and it needs protecting. Heck yeah, grandma recipes. Excuse me. Cooks like I do. I have so many books and I cross-reference like a mad librarian and then run into the wind with it all. Exactly. Cook where your ability is and however it feels good to your heart and shares. Exactly. There you go. Mix has got it. Learned to make a lot of different cheap casseroles, none of which I made for 10 years now. You know what? Casseroles are kind of a hole in my game. I'm not gonna lie. I don't make many casseroles. I know conceptually how casseroles are made, so I don't feel like casseroles are beyond my capacity to make. I just don't like. I don't have like a go-to anything casserole really. Every once in a while for like Christmas usually a holiday where I'm going to be doing a lot of cooking and I want to make something ahead of time, I'll do a breakfast casserole with some cream cheese and blueberries and sausage and brioche and eggs and